First poem I have today, I don't even know if I'm going to do a second one, but we're going to do the first one for sure. It's called Open Letter to My Eating Disorder. It's the first spoken word I ever wrote about a year ago today, so we'll get started with it. My BMI told me I didn't weigh enough. You still told me that wasn't good enough. And I had all these friends, but starved for attention, you whispered in my ear. All these words of fear, they only kicked up the gear of the grip around my neck, and around my wrist, and around my waist, and around my hips. From head to toe, you turned my body into my biggest foe. And I knew that was pathetic, but you told me that was aesthetic. As I grew colder, you grew bolder, making more pounds diminish, saying your work was not yet finished. You led me to believe that I was only pretty when I felt hungry. And one day I stopped feeling hungry, so I picked up new hobbies, at least what I told my mommy, so she wouldn't worry when I woke up at 5:30 to go for a run, telling her I thought it was fun, but as a tear streamed down my face, you screamed to pick up my pace. You turned my brain into a calculator, turning every individual calorie unlike a salary you always rounded up. Together we remembered the information platform on the back of all of my favorite snacks, and as I calculated how far I must run to make up for the snack that I ate yesterday. The snack that I ate yesterday. And with no space for anything else, I began to forget everything else but those numbers, always making me number. You acted like a dick, you always made me sick, I was unable to walk without a trip, and I always felt like shit. And as much as I hated you, I fell in love with you, I encouraged you while I fed you, and I lacked to do so myself. And now it's been a while since I found you worthwhile, and though this was an open letter, but every time I lose a strand of hair, I can't help but remember that pit of despair that you talked me in, and then you locked me in, and eventually you mocked me in. And though this was an open letter, hoping to never talk to you again, I am now marking this the motherfucking end. I got more. One more. Thank you for these glasses, Dylan. Do not think I'm going to use them. I think I'm probably going to drop them.
You don't need to wear them through to work.
I can't see right now, so. Alright. I shared this one last week. Again, back to the speech impediment. I did a spoken word, did not speak it very well, so we're going to try again. I haven't done my laundry in weeks. My trash can is far beyond its peaks, and I can honestly say that my sheets, they fucking reek. Because the crash from that 2-month manic episode, it hit like a bitch. And at this point in the movie, the credits should probably be rolling because whatever male main character but we'll say she, was destined, no, assigned to somehow fix, had already overcome the plot's main conflict, somehow learning through her beautiful mania. Or on the rare occasion where he texts her saying he flopped to Albania and then he blocked her number. She's a side character yet a prominent one that's dominant amongst most young girls who aspire to be hired by some man so she can unite and light his soul on fire, right? But if only it wasn't the facade falling in love, the manic pixie dream girl. She would never show her panic, she was far more clever than tyrannic, and she's got this weird obsession with anything botanic. Manic Pixie Dream Girl is a gleam of a light beam when his extreme loss of self-esteem had flowed him all the way down my stream. The way she somehow glowed, whether nude or clothes, her arms, they always had faint barcodes, and every single one of her dresses, they were hand-sewn. She'd dance in the middle of the road even if it had just snowed. Manic Pixie Dream Girl. Under his possession, she never questioned his aggression. It's frankly considered oppression every single time that he showed so much transgression. Yet Manic Pixie Dream Girl is still an icon, and that makes me want to hurl. See, all these little girls find self-expression in dyed hair and first impressions, but Manic Pixie Dream Girl never wrote a wrong. No, she only wrote songs for him. Sung in a room lit dim, emotions had already boiled to the brim, and by this point she wanted to do a lot more to her hair than just a trim. But when Manic Pixie Dream Girl becomes true, and he understands that there's a lot more inside of her brain still, she becomes blue because she realizes she cannot do what she was meant to. At least what she felt she was meant to. She was meant to fix him. But the bricks fell in, and Manic Pixie Dream Girl became nothing more than girl. And that makes me want to hurl. Because right after he thrusted her, she trusted him, and he dusted her. Because when Manic Pixie Dream Girl wasn't seen as a pure pearl, Manic Pixie Dream Girl becomes Manic Pixie Dead Girl.